Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a venue that's been sold out since it opened back in 2002, there's a look at the home of the Patriots, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
And he's got to be feeling pretty good about his individual performance from last week's game. I mean, he did throw 4 touchdown passes, so he's in sync with his receivers, and they're very confident. Did have 1 interception.
Yeah, the 1 pick.
And
they lost.
Yeah, so no matter how many touchdowns he threw, if it comes in a loss, he's not going to be satisfied.
They will run for the first time here with White. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. They'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. They'll find Miller. That's complete. A big play there on the catch and run. 47 yards.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Going on the ground, it's White. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3. Defensively, here are the starters for New England. They were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game,
and he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Allen Robinson, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. This is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really haven't. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, so get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. So here come the Patriots now to take over on offense. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. And let's give you a look here at the New England offense.
Out wide was the youngest player in the NFL in 2017, Juju Smith-Schuster. And he also had the longest reception in the league last season at 97 yards. Actually well-schooled in route running and able to run from both outside and moving inside to the slot position in order to make big plays.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
They'll run on first down. Pratt. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
2nd and 2. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Juju Smith-Schuster, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And that time, he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, is what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds when he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, get the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
On second down now, it's White. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up?
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. Third down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
Point after, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you down.
Now Garoppolo lost the football, and it's picked up by the Patriots. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
And this is where you need the quarterback to morph into being a running back. The ball can't be away from his body. It can't be loose. It can't be held like he's going to throw it. Tuck it away. Take care of it, because he's going to run through a lot of traffic.
And if he doesn't take care of it, we're going to see less design runs like that. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. 180! Here we go, here we go.
They'll start the drive with a give to White. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Here we go.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field.
Garoppolo now. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Kyle Van Noy. He's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Kyle Van Noy in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. On fourth down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Pulled in at the 24. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Patriots take over. So here are the Patriots to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak and right now looking good in this one as well. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
I'm going back to you. Let's go.
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Solomon Thomas in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. He'll look to throw. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. Give him 19 on the play, but they will still come up a bit short. And now it's 4th down. He's fresh off that 3-touchdown performance last week that got him AFC Offensive Player of the Week. So you know that he was already on their radar. Now he's maybe even a bigger plane on their radar.
Bigger plane. I mean, he is the big dot on that screen that they're looking at and saying, how in the heck do we stop him? They're going to try a bunch of different things, different people covering him. But right now, he's locked in and is in sync with his quarterback.
Here we go on 4th down. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a first down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now a give right side. It's Pratt, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Ready. Let's go, dude. Check, check. Lucky. You're out. Ready, go.
2nd and 15. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 33 yards that time.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. 2nd and 10. Steps away to his left. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive.
We got to step it up.
He'll look to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard. He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark. Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Watch the twist.
Here's White. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Here we go.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hey, let's go.
Got a man open. That's Harry. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, they'll run with White. And this Patriot defense up to the challenge once more as they again stop him behind the line. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
A short game that doesn't get them the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. A big play there just before halftime. 42 yards. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game. So you want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. So here we go for half number 2. The Patriots with the lead, and they will be getting the football. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. Good day for him so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's hit pay dirt once, over 100 yards, but hey, it's the 3rd quarter. He's thinking, I want more, right?
He wants more, and it just increases the confidence of his team because every play he makes, it means his quarterback is really feeling good about throwing the football. Probably feels like he can't throw an incomplete pass when he throws it to him right now.
Yeah, he's looked really, really sharp. 17 yards there for the Patriots as they've got themselves a 1st down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They'll drop to throw. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now back to throw. And this will be caught inside the 10. What a grab. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try the left side. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with 2nd down coming up. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Pratt. And he is in. Touchdown, New England. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is now 24. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. There's Garoppolo to throw. That's complete to White. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. 23 yards the pickup there.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Here we go. 180. No.
First down, here's White. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid.
On 2nd and 9. Garoppolo. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Here we go.
So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. He completes this into the hands of Miller. A gain of 6 there on first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Garoppolo on the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Now Howard. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
From the 25 on second down, Garoppolo, Kyle Van Noy. What a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? Throwing now is Garoppolo. And he's going to go down again. Kyle Van Noy. He continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Back to throw here. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 27 yards there, a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone covers there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. Here's a quick hitch route and the throw complete. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
That's what I'm talking about. Not hit, boy.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They'll try the left side. Pratt able to avoid him at the 40. And he's got this down to the 35. That one good for 13 and a New England 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Flush to his right. He'll try and run it. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and then it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
On 2nd down, it's Pratt. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Lock it.
They're going to look to throw. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point safely through, and that'll increase their lead to 28. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it ends with a New England touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins getting set to go here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they've got to make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 31 yards there and a first down. Some quarterbacks just seem to have a knack for setting up the draw play, and he did it really well there.
And those guys who can do that well often are very good at play action, too. And the beneficiaries, they're running backs and they're wide receivers.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he's going to have the hook up here with Harry. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. On a delay, it's Howard. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Garoppolo nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long? Now Garoppolo. They'll set up the screen to Howard. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. The screen gets 7, but it's not enough. And it'll be 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Badgley able to knock this one through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And the return will stop right around the 25. Now they get a fourth quarter pick, a little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. To throw is Garoppolo. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh.
Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Kyle Van Noy, a milestone sack for him as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132.5. Now we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Solomon Thomas, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. That one looks like he'll throw here. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Juju Smith-Schuster, 52 yards. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Let's go.
Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. It's complete to Robinson. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. An extra corner comes on now for the Patriots D on third down. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by David Long. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. They'll set up a throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to his running back, Alvin Kamara, and now it's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. The 20, 10, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13.
Kill. Turn.
Garoppolo. They'll find Miller. That's complete. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
Here we go. Wait, Davey! Hey, watch the slant.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Patriots will take their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Looking to throw. Garoppolo under pressure again, and down he goes again. Kyle Van Noy in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Pats, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year, and they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they are barely afloat as they